You know what? I don't really know what to think about this race. It was looking really freaking bad for a while. Oh, you like that? No, you do. You definitely like that. You ever fart and it just doesn't smell that bad? Is that just me, or like does your farts like to the person, their farts don't smell that bad? Might just be me. I don't know. But yeah, wasn't. I mean, Kyle Busch finished in the top 10. Truex didn't win. Harvick didn't win. So I guess it was alright for me. But it was looking to be really bad. Kyle Busch had wrecked. And lucky he made it back up to the front. Finished 7th. But that was a shit show of a race. That was not a good race. I mean, it was better than. It was better than the freaking playoff starter last year. But Chicago, I'm surprised. I was thinking actually this morning. Like, remember how you thought that Chicago was not going to be a good race? The July Chicago race was not going to be a good race, and it was a freaking amazing race. I was actually thinking about that this morning, and I was like, what if that's the same thing with Las Vegas? You think it's not going to be a good race, and then it is. And I'm not going to say it was a good race. It wasn't a bad race. It was a shit show, that's for sure, but it wasn't a bad race. I mean, there's been worse races. There's been better races. So, I'm just a little bit. I'm mad that Eric Jones and Chase Elliott wrecked. I don't really care about anybody else, but. And then Brad Keselowski got 3 in a row. See, my thing about Brad Keselowski is, like, I like him. Remember at the beginning of my NASCAR fandom, I hated Brad Keselowski. I legitimately hated Brad Keselowski. Remember when he got his, like, win at Kansas in 2011? I was, like, so pissed off then. But it was, like, 2012. I started to like him, and I do like him. But it's just, like, he's the definition of neutrality for me. I just don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about Brad Keselowski. He could never race a car again, and I wouldn't care. But he could win every week, and I also wouldn't care. That's where I stand on Brad Keselowski. Oh, damn. But Harvick wrecked, so that was cool. Except it fucked up my fantasy. I'm trying out fantasy. I don't know how the hell it works. What's the garage? Like, I think it's like a bench, like the football fantasy bench, where it's like at any time you can just start him. But my garage is Brad Keselowski. Guess I could only pick 2 playoff drivers, and I picked Truex and Harvick, the 2 Hitlers. They were actually both leading once at one point of the race. And then McMurray was leading, and then he got wrecked too. That pissed me off. Like, he didn't deserve that. And, yeah, Chase Elliott got caught up on that. He didn't deserve that either. McMurray's doing really well in the last few weeks. Brickyard, he was doing pretty well. I think even Darlington, he was doing all right. Maybe even Bristol. I'm not sure. But oh well. The race, I give it like a 8 out of 10. It was all right. I mean, it wasn't like a good race. Like a shit show can actually still be a good race. Wrecks do. Like, if there's not going to be any wrecks in a race, it's probably a bad race. I mean, wrecks aren't needed for a good race. But, like, Brickyard 400 last year, 2017 Brickyard 400 was the best Brickyard 400 that we've seen in a while. That was a great race. And Chicago this year was also... Chicago had a few wrecks, but that was a pretty good race. But this race was just... It was a shit show, that I can tell you that much. Oh, wow. That was a bit of a shit show. Man, this is a pretty uncomfortable room. I was going to film in the room that I normally do, but I saw a spider in there, so I didn't do that. Kind of got a shit too. I guess since my race reviews are barely even race reviews, being here for like 20 minutes, just talking to the camera about it's like I'm doing right now. But yeah, the fucking IndyCar races came on out of the blue. That happened. You know what pissed me off? Like, NASCAR never knows a middle ground. NASCAR never understands a decent middle ground. They would used to pull out like 7 debris cautions when there was like a pencil eraser on the racetrack. There would be like a fucking pencil eraser on the racetrack, and they'd fucking pull out a red flag that would cost like 2 hours of our time for that. But now, like, fucking today, there was like one car blowing a tire, one car was like spinning out, one car was in the wall, another car like blew another tire, and like one car just fucking dipped, another car just drove off to fucking McDonald's or some shit, another car was just like, you know what, fuck this, and they didn't pull out a fucking caution, but when Joey Logano tapped the wall ever so slightly, they just fucking pulled out a caution for that. They never know a middle ground. There is never a middle ground. They're like, oh no, we gotta get the fucking, gotta let these races play out. If you're gonna fucking let these races play out, then don't have the fucking stage cautions. God damn. I hate this new thing of let the races play out. That's why fucking Truex and Harvick win a lot, is because you let the races play out. Those are the worst races, is when Harvick and Truex win. And that's not even biased. That is legitimately the worst fucking races. How many races that Truex has won? Ever. I mean, besides like Sonoma and like Dover, 2007 and 2013. How many races has Truex won that have been good? How many, like, let's think. Fucking Sonoma was horrible. Kentucky was horrible. Fucking Pocono was alright, I guess. Not really. Fontana was horrible. Fucking Homestead last year was pretty bad. Charlotte was alright, I guess. Fucking Kansas was... Well, that was actually an alright race, but... Chicago was shit. Watkins Glen was shit. Kentucky was shit. They were all shit, and then 2016, they were all pretty much shit, too. Darlington was shit. The races that Truex loses... or the races that Truex win, are the worst races. And it's just a shit outcome. You have a bad race, and then the shittiest outcome ever. Harvick is a little better. When Harvick wins, it's usually a shit race. Sometimes they're pretty good. Like Kansas this year, that was pretty good. And then New Hampshire, that was also pretty good, a race. But... whenever Truex or Harvick wins, it's just a shit race. It's a shit race. And that's what happens when you let the races play out. You can't let the races play out like that. If a car blows a tire, don't fucking wait for him to get down. Try to, like, wait 5 laps for him to go to pit road. 1, because it just makes the race less entertaining. And 2, it just fucking ruins the driver's race. It ruins the driver's... like, the driver falls, like, 10 laps down. The driver can't do jack shit for the rest of the race. And then you're gonna, like, park him for accidentally tapping a car. Like, it's just ridiculous. And then plus you just have the stages anyway. We're gonna let the races play out. You say that, and then you have the stage cautions. Like, remember Talladega 2015? How shit that race was? That's because you let it play out. So either manufacture in cautions or don't. Have, like, segmented cautions or don't. Don't fucking do this bullshit of, nope, we're gonna have stage cautions, but when like 7 cars are blowing into flames, fucking 7 fans have died, 1 car is flipping into the catch fence, but no, I think we can hold off. Don't do that bullshit, cause it's just annoying. God damn. Yeah, I had to say that. But yeah, the IndyCar race is on right now. I was thinking about watching it, and I'm probably still going to. Go Joseph Newgarden. Alexander Rossi fucking had issues on the first lap, so that happened. He was my second pick. And then Scott Dixon, I wanted to win. I don't know who else is in it. I think it's Simon Pagenaud. Couldn't tell you. Yeah, I like Joseph Newgarden. He's my favorite IndyCar driver. He won last year though, didn't he? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I think hasn't Scott Dixon won like every race ever in the history of IndyCar? I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna watch probably the end of the IndyCar race today. I'm gonna watch the end of the IndyCar race today. I watched the end of Gateway. I watched most of the Texas race, and I watched the Indy 500. So I've watched four IndyCar races this year. More than I usually do. I usually just watch the Indy 500. Last year I watched Texas. Know that. Last year's Texas race was actually good. This year's Texas race was shit. But fucking Xfinity race. I didn't watch that, but I know that Ross Chastain won finally. Fucking didn't have Harvick to ruin that for him. Like he did. Harvick is a cunt. I fucking hate. Did you hear his interview today afterwards? He's dissing on a sponsor that helps out the sport tremendously. I mean, Kyle Busch wouldn't go that low. Kyle Busch just complains on himself. Kyle Busch just complains. Kyle Busch doesn't complain about anything, he just complains. Or he complains about his team, and then he, doesn't actually mean it. But Harvick is a cunt. Yeah, that happened. So, shit. I didn't watch the Xfinity race. I know that Ross Chastain won. I know there's a lot of bullshit that happened. Truck race, I actually watched that. I actually missed the beginning of the Cup race. I missed the first stage. I mean, besides, I was watching the Red Sox and Mets game with Dominic. And we would switch over to the race during commercial breaks. And the Red Sox won. And we made a deal that if the Red Sox won, that he would have to watch a race with me. And I picked Martinsville, probably just because it's going to be exciting. And if the Mets lost, or if the Red Sox lost, because the Red Sox are my favorite team, the Mets are his favorite team. If the Red Sox lost, that I would have to go up to a group of girls and say, "Hey, ladies, you like guys with stretch marks?" Yeah, that'd be funny. God damn. But now he has to sit through a boring race, and he has to not see that. And he doesn't get $10 because he made a bet with his friend that if the Mets won 2 games, that he would get $10. And then if the Red Sox swept, that he would have to give him $10. The Red Sox didn't sweep. The Mets won the first game. The Red Sox won the last 2 games. But yeah, I was watching the Red Sox and Mets game the other night, last night, and then today I watched it. And then Friday night I tried to watch it, and then they were just losing 8-0. They lost 8-0. It was the 7th inning. I just couldn't bear to watch another second of it. Them losing to the 4th worst team in baseball. Because the Padres, the San Diego Padres are the worst. And then the fucking Orioles, and then the Marlins. And then maybe the Reds. I think they're probably the same amount of shit. But, yeah, I couldn't bear to watch that anymore. So I watched the truck race. And Oh my god, you should have fucking seen how pissed I was when fucking Jesse Little, that little son of a bitch. That should be my nickname for him from now on. If he ever makes it to the Cup Series, I'm gonna call him little son of a bitch. He's on my shit list, but I kind of forgave him. But I was so fucking pissed at him. That son of a bitch, that little son of a bitch, fucking wrecked Todd Gilliland. After Noah fucking Gregson, his teammate, Noah fucking Gregson, fucking pushes him into the grass and wrecks him and himself at Canadian Tire, making them both lose the race. Not only that, but then fucking Jesse fucking Little, son of Chad Little, who used to be a race car driver, so it's another punk with a name. Oh, wow. Another punk with family association. But Sam Austin, don't fucking talk about that. I like Austin Dillon. No, there are some talented drivers who like, are family members. Like, Dale Jr., he was alright, I guess. Austin Dillon, he's pretty good. But, yeah, I mean, it's just retarded. He fucking wrecks him. It looked pretty intentional. And it's not even like for the win on the last lap. None of them are running for a championship. But yeah, I'm pissed. I was pissed about that. I was like throwing shit. I was fucking screaming, swearing, and everything. Yeah, that happened. But whatever. What are you gonna do? But yeah, guys. Fucking, I rate this weekend. I mean, the truck race was great. The truck race was actually good, though. Like, the Xfinity race, I didn't see that, but it sounded pretty good. And the Cup race was just a shit show. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It was better than I expected out of a Las Vegas race, so that's something. But, whatever. I mean, IndyCar race, go Newgarden, even though Dixon's probably going to win, fucking, of course. But, yeah. Alright. Bye, guys.